894 goals. So that means Alex is only 860 behind. Good luck, Mr.
How about
Ovechkin.
those points, Joe?
Good luck.
It became personal with me.
Alexander Ovechkin curl and drag to the backhand. He scores! Simply sensational!
Force it to him if he's open.
Here is Ovechkin. Shoots. He scores! Number 895.
There you have it, guys. April 6th, Alex Ovechkin scored his 895th NHL goal, passing Wayne Gretzky as the all-time goal leader in the NHL. And he actually broke the record in the exact same amount of games played, so no one can ever say it was just because Ovi had better longevity. Broke the record, heads up, doesn't get more fair than that. Obviously, that on its own, I think, is crazy enough, but the more you look into this, the crazier it gets. I feel like not only was he destined to break Gretzky's goal record, but he was destined to break it when he did. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Gordie Howe actually set his goal record, which obviously Gretzky then broke, of 801 goals on the exact same day, April 6th, back in 1980. And the goal he scored on was Raji Vakon, and he wore number 30 for the Red Wings. Now, obviously, Ovechkin scored on number 30, Ilya Sorokin in New York Islanders, so kind of similar, but we're not done there, as Wayne Gretzky, when he set the gold record, of course, scoring 894 with the New York Rangers, the final goal he scored of his career, he did so against a New York Islander goalie wearing number 30, and that goalie was Wade Flaherty. So I think that's kind of crazy. All three goalies that got scored on wore number 30. Obviously, it's a very popular goalie number, but the fact that both Gretzky and Ovechkin scored on a New York Islander goalie wearing number 30, I mean, it's pretty fitting. And speaking of Gordie Howe, guys, of course, when Ovechkin broke this record, Wayne Gretzky wanted to be sure he was in the building for it, both when he tied the record as well as when he broke the record. And the reason for that is Gordie Howe was there when Gretzky broke his points record. And he promised both Gordie Howe and his dad, Walter Gretzky, when someone eventually broke his record, he would be there to be the first one to shake their hand.
And my dad said, you know what? Somebody's going to break your record. And when he does, make sure you're as much a gentleman to him as Gordie Howe is to you.
I said I'd be the first guy to shake your hand when you broke the record. And I wore this pin.
And in terms of the goal itself, guys, you couldn't have wrote a better script. On the power play, Alex Ovechkin gets a pass from his longtime teammate in Tom Wilson, and he absolutely rips one from his office. Again, past his buddy in Ilya Sorokin. Kind of cool, too. This is actually Alex Ovechkin's first time ever scoring on Ilya Sorokin. He definitely chose a good first time to do it. And to add another further layer to this goal, we're definitely doing a deep dive in this video. Alex Ovechkin scored at the 12:35 mark of the second period. And if we jump back to October 5th, 2005, when Alex Ovechkin scored his first ever goal, he scored at the 12:39 mark of the second period. So 5 seconds away from being the exact same time, scoring the first goal and the record-breaking goal. It was like this close to being perfect. And one more thing we have to point out, guys, about this date is the fact that Alex Ovechkin kind of took destiny into his own hands when the game before he already had 2 goals against the Blackhawks, which of course tied Gretzky's record. And with 2 minutes to go in the game, the Blackhawks were down by 1, so they pulled their goalie, leaving Ovechkin with a prime opportunity not only to score the 3rd goal of the game, getting himself a hat trick, but also to break Wayne Gretzky's goal record, and he chose to stay on the bench, telling his coach that he did not want to break it on an empty net goal. And now going back to the date Ovechkin broke this record, guys, April 6th, I think it's pretty insane that he actually ends up doing it on this day. When you jump back to the beginning of the season, and remember, he was actually scoring at a really high pace. People thought, if he keeps this up, he'll be breaking the record this season, but then he actually had a terrible injury, broke his leg at the end of November. If you Google it, they say the average leg break, even for a minor one, is still 6 to 8 weeks, and it can last several months. So the fact that Ovechkin broke his leg and then was back skating 17 days later is absolutely incredible. And one thing we can't forget too, guys, Ovechkin's not 25 anymore. The dude's pushing 40. So to come back that fast and immediately play an elite level is so impressive. You know what they say, Russian machine, don't break. I think that just shows his drive, his determination, not only to break Gretzky's goal record, but to do it this season. And like I was saying, what makes the injury even more crazy with him being out for that exact amount of time, coming back, and then breaking the record on this day is the fact that the Washington Capitals actually won the 2004 NHL Draft Lottery, earning themselves the right to draft the consensus #1 overall pick, which of course was Alex Ovechkin.
With the first selection, the 2004 NHL Entry Draft, the Washington Capitals are pleased to select Alexander Ovechkin.
So like I was saying all video, I don't just think Alex Ovechkin was destined to break this record. I think he was destined to break this record exactly when he did.
I swear to God!
And now one last thing I want to leave you guys with, when Alex Ovechkin scored the greatest goal of his career against the Arizona Coyotes, making him a household name, not only was Wayne Gretzky the coach of the Coyotes at the time, but there was also a kid in the stands some of you might know, his name of course, Austin Matthews. And at this point in his career, Austin Matthews actually has more goals than Alex Ovechkin did. So after Ovechkin pulled off the impossible, breaking Gretzky's record, could Matthews break Ovi's? Time will tell.